total, if you could put a figure, like a monetary figure on how much damage the way people like Dominic Raab behave, it would be astronomically high, because it's just multiplied hundreds of thousands of times across on a daily basis across the country repeatedly, and so it's just a perpetual causing of damage by people like that.
Yes.
And there's never been any counting done for how much, because it's difficult to work out. There's never any accounting done for, well, how much is that costing the NHS? How much is that costing people from missed hours of work? How much is that costing people's lives? There's never any accounting done for that, because it's just called bullying rather than abuse.
Yes,
what it is.
Of course. Go on.
If I'm in a meeting with somebody and somebody presents me a report they've worked on, I can assume they've worked on it as best they can. And I say, what is this rubbish? And I throw it back across at them and I say, this is filth.
Yeah.
Then fundamentally, that is abuse. It's not bullying. I'm being abusive. I'm abusing that person.
It'd be interesting to know the detail, wouldn't it? Because I imagine that what we're looking at here, in at least some cases, particularly at the Foreign Office and the Brexit Department, would have been him saying, bring me some unicorns, and then writing reports that say, well, we can't find any unicorns, but here are some donkeys with ice cream cones stuck to their foreheads. And then he kicks off because his entire political success is built upon selling unicorns to the British people back in 2016.
It sounds to me like a lot of the abuse took place in settings where there was multiple people. So basically part of the abuse is, look at me, I'm taking this person down in front of you all.
Yes.
Watch it, everybody watch out, I'll take you down next. Basically, I think fundamentally the cost of that kind of behaviour across the entire country is uncalculable.
So what you don't do is say, find me Joanne, I'm going to intimidate her and humiliate her.
I think everyone has their own style of
No, that's not style. One way is the proper way to manage on a line management, using the normal structures of management, and the other is to break those normal structures of management and think you can trample over them.
Well, that comes back to my first point, really. The lines are slightly muddy, but I would agree that absolutely respect...
I don't think they're muddied at all.
Respect needs to be given to the people that are effectively doing a paid job. You know, civil servants are at work. It's their day job. Now, what I would say is that for anyone that wants to try and understand the frustrations from a political perspective, and equally from a civil service perspective, is to watch episodes of Yes Minister and Yes Prime Minister.
I just mentioned it. I know. It was perfect, wasn't it, Kevin? I mean, you could laugh at this, laugh along with it, but it really showed really brilliantly that balance. But I think when it comes to somebody's performance, a junior person's performance, there is a management structure through which that happens, and the minister has the relationship with the senior advisors, the senior civil servants, and they manage the junior civil servants. I don't think it could be clearer, really.
Andrea is in Hereford. Andrea.
Hello, Tom. I just want to say that I think people are so wet and feeble and drippy in the workplace. I've worked in many companies. I remember one where the boss used to scream and shout and all the boys would cower, and I would just say, don't speak to me like that. You know, I'm good at my job, blah, blah, blah. You just stand your ground. I've worked in other companies where the women are, you're useless, you're this, you're that. You just grow a pair. You just grow a thicker hide, and you learn to stand up to people. You don't just go, everyone's mean to me. You know, why not bang a desk? Either you're good at your job or you're not. If you're not, improve. Why does everyone have to speak to everyone? Oh, could you do this? Oh, goodness me. Sorry.
At what stage of your life are you meant to have grown this thicker skin, Andrea? Would you say, for example, an 8-year-old boy being bawled at by his teacher yet again should just grow a thicker skin?
I'm talking about when you're in the workplace.
Okay,
when you're in the workplace.
Back to my first question. At what age should you have developed this thicker skin?
Well, throughout life, not everyone's going to be nice to you all the time.
Sure.
You know,
so at what
you
stage
come across
do we all agree that the person who's being bawled at repeatedly by their boss should have a thick enough skin to go, yeah, ha, 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 water off a duck's back, words.
No, that's not what I said. I said that people need to learn to just say, don't speak to me like that. You know,
and when they said that, by what age should people just be able to say, don't speak to me like that, and walk away, and not do the complaining blah, blah, blah as you described? By what stage?
No, I think people just need to. When I had it happen to me, I was probably early 20s in London.
So by early 20s, we all agree, and Andrea as well, we all agree that by your early 20s, if you're screamed at by your boss, you just have to brush it off because you're in your early 20s, and that's the age by which you should have developed a thick enough skin to go, two fingers up to you too, sir, and move on.
Hey, James. Well, look, we live in an age of political minnows, especially with our current government having drained all their talent, even if you disagreed with it, over the last sort of 6 years.
Yeah.
And there's two observations about this sort of thing. One is this idea that driven people need to bully to be successful. That's just not true. If you go into any business, large business or small businesses, franchise businesses, the people at the top of those businesses are quite often inspiring people who understand that to get success and to get the results, you have to take people on the journey. I've had great bosses who we have a 2-day meeting with, and they've got a plan.
Yeah.
And this meeting could have been 5 minutes where they said, this is what you're going to do. But they spend 2 days allowing everybody to talk about it, explore it, and get on board with it. And then guess what? It works. So these people now just haven't got the skills. They're bad managers rather than leaders. And I think this, you mentioned a lot earlier in the show, Alan Partridge. Well, I'm going to mention another Armando Iannucci sitcom, which is The Thick of It. And unfortunately, we've got a generation of politicians that are cosplaying a TV character in Malcolm Tucker from The Thick of It.
Yes.
That's how they think,
Yes.
He was probably loosely based on Alistair Campbell, but there's two things. One, Alistair Campbell was immensely successful, and two, he was a real person. Malcolm Tucker has never been a real person. He was a caricature and a cartoon that made great television.
That's a really good one. That's a really good spot for Raab, actually, because this stuff about he's in the office all the time and he works really hard. It's as if he's trying to convince himself that he's up to the job, not never mind the people around him, and by blustering but if I'm the loudest person in the room, that means I've got the strongest grasp of my brief. It's very, very, very sad, isn't it?